Most people claim they want to change, but when the opportunity stands before them, they hesitate. They cling to comfort, excuses, and illusions, waiting for some miracle. That is why they stay powerless. The truth is simple. You will only see the path to transformation when you are finally ready to destroy who you are today. And this message is for the few who are truly ready. Most people spend their lives chasing one thing without even realizing it: comfort. They dress it up with different names: security, stability, balance, even happiness. But if you strip those words down to their core, what they are really describing is comfort. The soft bed that keeps you from rising early, the easy routines that spare you from discipline, the predictable patterns that stop you from ever risking something greater. Comfort is seductive. It whispers that you are safe, that you are fine as you are, that there is no need to push further. And this is why it is so dangerous. Comfort is the most effective prison ever designed. Unlike iron bars or chains, it does not confine you against your will. It convinces you to stay inside willingly. It makes you smile at your own captivity. The man trapped by force will always look for escape, but the man trapped by comfort never tries to leave, because he believes there is nothing to escape from. He tells himself he has enough, that he is content, and in doing so he kills every part of himself that was meant to rise beyond mediocrity. Look around and you will see this truth everywhere. The majority are not starving, not hunted, not even oppressed in the traditional sense. Yet they live like prisoners. Their lives revolve around shallow pleasures and routines that keep them predictable. They wake up at the same time, go to jobs they quietly hate, return home to the same distractions, and fall asleep repeating the cycle. And in that cycle, year after year, they lose their sharpness, their hunger, their will. Comfort is stolen from them without them even realizing it. You must understand that comfort is not safety. It pretends to protect you, but in reality, it leaves you exposed. A man who hides inside his comfort zone grows weaker with every passing day, while the world around him grows harsher and more demanding when difficulty finally strikes. And it always does. The man who has built his life on comfort is the first to collapse. He has no resilience, no discipline, no strength to endure, because comfort has drained it all from him. The irony is cruel. By chasing safety, he made himself defenseless. History itself reveals this pattern. Empires fall not at the height of their struggle, but at the height of their comfort. When their people stop fighting and start indulging, when discipline is replaced with pleasure, when vigilance is replaced with laziness, decline is inevitable. The same rule applies to every individual life. You do not collapse when you are striving and enduring. You collapse when you have allowed yourself to grow too comfortable. Comfort lulls you into believing you have more time. It whispers, you can start tomorrow. You can fix yourself later. You can reach for greatness when you are ready. But tomorrow is a lie comfort tells to keep you still. Every day you give to ease and avoidance is a day stolen from your strength. Before you realize it, years vanish, and so does the man you could have been. If you doubt this, look closely at those who have achieved power, influence, or mastery in any field. They are not the ones who clung to comfort. They are the ones who abandoned it. They embraced early mornings when their bodies demanded sleep. They faced risks when others begged for guarantees. They endured failure, rejection, and ridicule when others hid behind excuses. And in this rejection of comfort, they found what the masses never will control. Comfort promises happiness, but it only delivers stagnation. True satisfaction comes not from avoiding difficulty, but from overcoming it. The man who faces discomfort willingly discovers something no comfortable man ever will: a depth of strength, resilience, and clarity that cannot be found in ease. Discomfort sharpens him, tempers him, forces him to grow beyond his old limits. In contrast, the man addicted to comfort grows soft, not only in body but in mind and spirit. His ambitions shrink to fit the boundaries of his comfort zone until there is nothing left of him but routine and regret. The tragedy of comfort is that it disguises itself as success. The house, the job, the routines, the pleasures, all look like signs of stability. But look deeper and you will see decay. You will see wasted years, wasted strength, wasted potential. And when life finally demands something of this man, when hardship inevitably arrives, his false stability crumbles, and he is left exposed. The truth is merciless comfort is not your friend. It does not protect you. It weakens you slowly, silently, while convincing you that you are safe. It kills you from the inside long before the outside world ever gets the chance. If you truly want to change, the first step is to recognize comfort for what it is, a prison disguised as paradise. Only then can you begin to tear it down and step beyond it. No man ever changes because of inspiration alone. He changes because he becomes sick of himself. Disgust is the hidden engine of transformation. It is the moment when you can no longer tolerate the sight of your own reflection, the weight of your wasted time, or the shame of your excuses. Until you reach this point, you will talk about change, dream about change, even plan for it, but you will not act. Words are cheap. Comfort is stronger than your empty promises. But when disgust enters, it ignites a fire that no comfort can extinguish. Think of the man who claims he wants to improve his health, but continues to feed himself poison day after day. He knows better. He has read the advice, seen the examples, even imagined the better version of himself. But he does nothing. Why? Because the pain of staying the same has not yet outweighed the pleasure of his comfort. One day, though, he may wake up, look at himself in the mirror, feel disgust, not the shallow kind of dislike, but the deep, soul-crushing realization that he has betrayed himself. That feeling, as bitter as it is, will drive him more than any motivational words ever could. Disgust is not weakness. It is a weapon. It tears apart the illusions you have built to protect yourself. You can lie to others, but disgust makes it impossible to lie to yourself. When it rises, it exposes the truth in brutal clarity that you are not where you could be, that you are wasting what you have been given, that you are living far beneath your potential. It strips away your excuses, and it forces you to confront reality without filters. Most people run from that moment because it hurts. But if you face it, if you endure it, you can turn that pain into fuel. Change does not begin with confidence. It begins with humiliation. It begins with standing in the ruins of your own weakness and admitting, this is not acceptable. Until you are disgusted with mediocrity, you will always choose it. Until you are disgusted with excuses, you will always make them. Until you are disgusted with who you have allowed yourself to become, you will never step into who you were meant to be. Pain awakens where comfort lulls you to sleep. It is the alarm clock you cannot ignore. The man who has never tasted disgust will never grow. He will float through life, numbed by small pleasures, blinded by distractions, pretending he is fine. But when disgust finally strikes him, he either crumbles under it or rises because of it. That choice defines the difference between those who remain powerless and those who seize power. For the one who rises, disgust becomes a signal. It becomes the moment that separates the past from the future. Many will tell you to silence the voice of disgust, to practice self-love and acceptance at all costs. But acceptance without action is surrender. It is choosing to stay in chains and calling it peace. Disgust is not your enemy, it is your ally. It is the part of you that demands more, that refuses to settle, that cannot stand the thought of dying with your potential locked inside you. If you silence it, you kill the only part of yourself that wants to fight. Do not mistake disgust for despair. Despair paralyzes you. Disgust forces you to move. Despair convinces you that nothing can be changed, while disgust reveals that everything must be changed. It may feel harsh, even unbearable, but it is only unbearable to the part of you that is weak. The stronger part of you recognizes disgust as a signal that the time for patience is over. You cannot choose when disgust arrives. It comes suddenly, sometimes in the quiet of the night, sometimes in the middle of a routine day. A word, a look, a mirror, a moment of clarity, and suddenly the truth cuts through. But when it does arrive, you must not waste it. That moment is rare, and it is powerful. If you act on it, you can redirect your entire life. If you ignore it, you return to your illusions, but the taste of shame lingers. Every great transformation begins with this moment of disgust. Not with hope, not with comfort, not with easy positivity, but with the raw, unfiltered realization that you cannot go on like this, that you have tolerated weakness for too long, that the life you are living is beneath the one you are capable of living. This awakening hurts. It is supposed to hurt. The man who avoids this pain avoids his own rebirth. The man who embraces it finds in it a weapon stronger than motivation, stronger than fear, Stronger even than desire, change is never gentle. It is not a polite invitation, it is a demand. To transform yourself into something greater, you must destroy what keeps you small, and destruction is never comfortable. It is violent, ruthless, and absolute. The reason so many remain trapped in mediocrity is not because they lack dreams, but because they lack the will to cut away everything that chains them. They hope transformation can be achieved without sacrifice, that they can hold onto their old habits, their old friends, their old excuses, and somehow still build a new life. That is impossible. The man who refuses to cut cannot rise. The ruthless choice is the line that separates those who only speak of change from those who embody it. It is the decision to amputate what is rotting, no matter how attached you are to it. If a man's arm is infected beyond saving, he either loses the arm or loses his life. The same is true of your habits, your relationships, your beliefs. You cannot keep what poisons you and expect to grow stronger. The longer you cling, the more it destroys you from within. The brutal truth is this: if you want to become powerful, you must be willing to betray the weaker version of yourself. Consider the habits that weaken you, the endless distractions, the indulgences that steal your focus, the laziness that whispers for more rest. Each one feels small in isolation, but together they build a cage around you. They rob you of time, energy, and discipline. Most men will spend their lives negotiating with these habits, trying to control them, trying to balance them, never realizing that the only real solution is annihilation. You do not reason with weakness. You remove it. You burn it out of your life so completely that it has no place to return. The same is true of people. Some of the most dangerous chains are not your own habits, but the people you keep around you. Those who drain your energy, mock your ambition, or seduce you back into comfort are enemies, disguised as companions. Yet many men will cling to them because of loyalty, fear of loneliness, or the illusion of friendship. But loyalty to weakness is treason against yourself. If a man or woman diminishes you, they must go. It does not matter if they have been in your life for years. It does not matter if cutting them off feels cruel. What is truly cruel is allowing them to poison your future. Ruthlessness is not cruelty for its own sake. It is clarity. It is the ability to see what must be done without being blinded by sentiment or fear. The world respects those who can make hard choices because hard choices create strong men. Every empire, every great leader, every figure of true power was shaped by this ability. The willingness to sacrifice what is weak for what is necessary. If you lack it, you will forever serve those who do not. The ruthless choice is terrifying because it demands identity death. You cannot cling to the man you were yesterday and become the man you are meant to be. To rise, you must bury him. His comforts, his excuses, his weaknesses, his habits, all must die. Most men are not willing to perform this execution. They want change without sacrifice, growth without loss, power without pain. And so they stay exactly where they are, year after year, secretly aware that they have betrayed themselves. There is a cold freedom in ruthlessness. When you begin to cut, you feel the weight lifting. At first, it feels unnatural, even brutal. But soon you realize that everything you removed was a parasite feeding on your strength. You see that the relationships you abandoned were chains, not bonds. You see that the habits you destroyed were traps, not pleasures. And in their absence, you feel something you have not felt in years: clarity. The man who hesitates, who tries to carry his weakness with him, will always fall behind. He will keep one foot in the past, and that past will drag him down. The man who chooses ruthlessly, who severs ties with everything unworthy, becomes unstoppable. For he carries nothing but what serves him. He is light, focused, disciplined, and dangerous. Ruthlessness is not a single decision, it is a way of life. Every day the question returns: will you serve your weakness, or will you cut it down? The choice never grows easier, but it always grows more necessary. And each cut you make carves away the man you were, shaping the man you must become. This is why change is feared, because it is not a gentle addition, but a merciless subtraction. You are not building a new life on top of the old. You are burning the old one to ash and beginning again. When you finally embrace discomfort, when you stop worshiping ease and start chasing discipline, something begins to shift inside you. It does not happen overnight, and it does not happen with ceremony. At first, it is barely noticeable. a flicker of clarity in the chaos of your routines. But with every sacrifice, every disciplined act, every ruthless choice to cut away what weakens you, this flicker grows stronger. This is the moment where true power begins to emerge. Power is not given. It is not inherited by chance or granted by permission. Power is born in the man who dares to destroy his old self and endure the fire of transformation. Most people misunderstand what power is. They think of it as dominance over others, as wealth, as control of resources, or as status in society. But these are only shadows of power, the outward manifestations that appear once the inner transformation has already taken place. True power is internal. It is the state of no longer being ruled by your own weakness, your own impulses, or the illusions of the world around you. Once you conquer yourself, everything else bends more easily. Without that, all the wealth, all the recognition, and all the status are fragile and temporary. The man who has embraced discipline no longer sees the world the way ordinary men do. Where others see obstacles, he sees opportunities to sharpen himself. Where others see pain, he sees a forge. Where others cling to excuses, he looks for action. This shift is subtle but absolute. It is as if he has stepped through a hidden door that most people walk past every day. That door is invisible to those who seek comfort. It reveals itself to those who choose struggle. Once you walk through it, the world is no longer the same. Clarity comes with this emergence. You begin to notice how predictable and fragile the majority truly are. They speak of goals they will never pursue. They boast of strength they will never test. They cling to routines that keep them powerless. And while they laugh at discipline and mock ambition, you are quietly building an advantage they cannot comprehend. They live blinded by illusions, but you have chosen to see. This is why power feels lonely at first, because so few are willing to pay the price of clarity. Discipline becomes less of a burden and more of a weapon. You realize that while others are enslaved by their cravings and distractions, you are not. While others are pulled apart by every demand of the world, you remain centered. This control compounds. Each decision you make in strength reinforces the next. Every temptation you resist, every weakness you cut, every sacrifice you accept, builds a foundation beneath you that cannot be shaken. This is the birth of true power. The ability to remain unshaken where others collapse. The world itself begins to bend differently when you operate from this place. People notice the presence of someone who is not ruled by weakness. They cannot always explain it, but they feel it. The quiet man who does not need approval is more intimidating than the loud one who begs for validation. The man who is disciplined in private becomes unstoppable in public. Without saying a word, he commands respect, because his actions reveal a strength others secretly envy but cannot replicate. Power also grants vision, where the comfortable man sees only the immediate, his next pleasure, his next distraction, his next escape. The powerful man sees far ahead. He thinks in years, in decades, in legacies. He is not swayed by every wave because he has anchored himself in discipline. This long view makes him immune to the manipulation that controls the masses. He does not chase what everyone else is chasing. He builds what others do not even know is possible. But emergence requires cost. There is no way to step into this state without first tearing down everything false within you. That is why so few ever reach it. They want the rewards of power, but not the sacrifices it demands. They want the vision without the discipline, the respect without the pain, the freedom without the fire. But the fire is what forges you. Without it, you remain like everyone else. Weak, blind, dependent on illusions. The greatest freedom you gain when power emerges is freedom from yourself. The old you. The one chained by excuses, dragged down by weakness to comfort, no longer has authority. His voice fades, his influence disappears, his grip is broken. In his place stands a man who acts not from fear or desire, but from clarity and will. That is when the world begins to respond differently. People move out of your way, opportunities appear, respect is granted, not because of luck, but because you have become someone who cannot be ignored. This emergence is not a final stage. It is not an end point. It is the beginning of an entirely different path, a path most will never walk. For once power takes root inside you, it demands growth, it demands expansion, it demands that you keep cutting, keep refining, keep pushing beyond limits. And while others chase the shallow comforts of ordinary life, You will carry the burden and the privilege of clarity. That is the price and the reward of stepping beyond weakness and allowing true power to rise. You were never meant to remain the same. The man you are today is only a temporary version, a draft, a shadow of the one you are capable of becoming. But that stronger version will never emerge as long as you cling to illusions. Comfort has trapped you, disgust must awaken you, ruthlessness must cut away your weakness, and discipline must forge the power hidden inside you. The truth is not gentle. It does not wait for your permission. Either you will embrace the fire of transformation, or you will spend your life chained to mediocrity. Every day you delay, the prison of comfort tightens its grip. Every excuse you repeat, the weaker self grows stronger. Change will not come from wishing, from waiting, or from dreaming. It comes from the brutal choice to destroy what no longer deserves to exist in you. The moment you stop negotiating with weakness is the moment your life begins. You will see the world differently, you will see yourself differently, and you will move with a clarity and strength that others cannot comprehend. They will call it luck, they will call it talent, but you will know the truth. You chose to change when others refused. You chose to embrace what they feared, and in doing so, you unlock the one thing they will never possess: true power.